Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builders Show with your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are so glad that you tuned in with us today. We'd like to give a great big shout out to our broadcast partners. Thank you for tuning in. IAM Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things that deal with relationships and communication. Our goal is for your marriage, your relationship to be thriving and prosperous. We want you to become an MVP. That's the most valuable partner in your marriage or relationship. Here at IAM Love Builders, we want to help you become strong in your marriage, your communication with your spouse, your family, your friends, with everyone. Because here at IAM Love Builders, we wholeheartedly believe that if you are not having fun, you are not doing it right.
No doubt about that. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. And several months ago, we were in Texas for the second annual Zanti Awards.
Yes.
And there were probably 15 or so other shows in the category we were in, but we won the Zanti Award for that. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was a fun time there. And we're going to be going back there here at the end of this month. So we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
All right. Next thing is, speaking of what, we are taping season 2 of Winning with Love. And we're going to be, it's really full, but we probably could squeak in one more couple
Yes.
For that, but they'd have to get to Texas. And at this point, they'd have to cover airfare and hotel and things like that. But they can get their product or service on TV. So that's a really good deal for them. We're going to talk more about that here in a moment. We have a lot of media services we provide through Zandra TV networks. So we have TV and movie production, TV advertising, pay-per-view platforms, podcast promotions, a lot of media services we can provide through Zandra TV. And Cheryl and I wrote several books. So we wrote a book together called Divorce Proving Your Marriage. That's been out for about 3 or 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote a book called Mastering Adam, the biblical Adam. And then Cheryl just finished a book called Mastering Eve. So it's at the publisher, but they kicked it back for this. Something was out of alignment with the cover or something. So I got to get that figured out. And then we have Mastering Adam and Eve. It's kind of like the child of Mastering Adam.
Yeah, it's more of a devotional book. So we, Adam and Eve came together and created
a devotional
book.
Yeah. It's really a great book. You know, as we were going through it and putting it together, I'm like, this is actually, it's simple. It's only 68 pages. Mm-hmm. But man, it's some really good just nuggets. Nugget after
some
nugget.
Powerful stuff there.
Yeah, each quote is a nugget that you can just chew on and meditate on,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can journal in the book. So it's a great little book. So we have a MVP Most Valuable Partner Facebook group. It's a free group that you can join. And we have several hundred couples and singles there in that group. We dispense a lot of marriage tips and information in there. And we are expanding out our app. And that's going to be coming. This new app, Cheryl, it's off the chain.
It's going to be good. Huh?
It's off the chain, yeah. So I'm excited about it because I'm geeky, right? All that stuff.
Geeky.
Geeky. Just speaking about the app, right? So we have an app right now, and you can join it for free. In fact, the ones that are in our app right now, they're going to be migrated over to the new app.
Very good.
And we're going to give them a little love when they go over. Right? So we're going to hook them up with a paid position, even if they're not paid. So there's a lot of great things coming as far as the app is concerned.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And then we have a sponsor for our podcast called Texas All Stars. They have actually perfected the crypto mining space. And this is exciting because I've done crypto investing in the past and lost money, right? I'm sure a lot of people have tried to dabble in it and lost money. But these guys have perfected the mining process, and man, it has been phenomenal. It's been a nice income boost for us. I had a miner for a while, and I was building it out. And then you said, I need a miner.
Like, well, if you got a minor, I should have a minor.
Right. So now you have a minor, and my sisters have a minor, and my daughter has a minor.
So it's become a family affair.
A family affair, yeah. It's really, really great program. I strongly recommend people look into it. And so check that out. In fact, we're going to be in Dallas. Hopefully we can go check out one of the mining operations that are going on in Dallas while we're there.
Very good.
Yep. So here in about 3 weeks, we're going to be heading back to Texas.
Yes.
For season 2, taping Winning with Love.
Yes. So Winning with Love is our TV show that we did. The first season, we had 4 couples on the show. And this year we decided to do a combination of couples and singles.
Yes.
So it's going to be a show that basically highlights both marriage and also being single. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. And the founder of the network, Zandra, she's going to be one of our singles. So that's going to be, who knows what that's going to be.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Zandra is a handful. So that's going to be exciting. And it's really, the whole TV thing last year was special for us because the first time, right? So
we had no idea what to
expect, with all the makeup and all that stuff.
I mean, just how it works. I mean, I just had a hard time having a vision in my mind of what that actually looked like, because I'd never been on TV, never thought about TV, never wanted to be on TV.
Yeah.
However, it was a blessed experience. God just really showed off. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And so we're expecting the same this year. And this year we've added the singles. So we want to get the singles perspective. We want to hear what Christian singles have to say. And some of the things the challenges that they have and what they're overcoming. And then another thing that we're doing is that we really want to highlight those of our guests who have a product, a service, a business, a ministry, a book. We really want to highlight them and really get into a really good conversation with them about what they're doing, their product, whatever it is. Just really shed a spotlight on them and have them to really talk about it.
Yeah. We want to unpack their business in a way that they normally don't get that level of exposure, right? Because normally it's the interview and they say, I have a book, and they hold the book up and stuff. But no, we want to go into it. So they have a book, we want to dive into it, kind of maybe cover a chapter 2 into what's in there. So we really want people to lean in to the point that makes it, I got to have that book, or I got to have that product, or I got to have that service.
Yes, we want to bring them to the forefront, help them to expand their audience and their network.
Yeah, it's going to be good. All right, so we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring our special guests on all the way from Canada. I forgot, did we have some province in Canada? Ontario, okay. All right. I wonder if they speak French there. Oh, never know.
Do you?
Mais oui, je parle français, et vous?
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to find my commercial book here. And when we come back, we are going to bring up our guests. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Well, which is my camera?
Right there, all the way down.
Oh, okay, I can talk to him. After all, he's my camera. I can talk to him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are here with our wonderful guests.
God has been very graceful. Going back to what you stated, it's that work back.
Yeah.
So we weren't arguing with one another, but maybe we needed to be. Right. Maybe we needed to be getting uncomfortable.
I'd only been saved 9 11 months. He's been saved since he was 19.
But at the end of the day, I believe in marriage, and I think that it's really important.
You have been watching Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder show, Casper and Cheryl, and we have our special guests. I'm going to bring them up now, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Mes amis from Ontario. You guys speak French? No? Un peu?
Un petit peu.
So we bring up our special guests, Greg and Alison Wills, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're excited to have you guys with us, and we always like to have our guests kind of introduce themselves to our audience. And so please
Tell us about
Tell
yourselves.
us about yourselves.
Yeah, so we have been married for 21 years. I'm sure you're going to ask us about how we met, so I won't even go there. But we have 2 kids. We have a almost 14-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl. And currently we have a billet who's also living with us. She's about to celebrate her 18th birthday. And so she's living here with us for a year to do competitive sports. And we have 2 dogs that are 11 and 10 pounds each, and they rule the house.
Yeah, they normally do. They normally do.
So Alison and Greg, tell us, you've been married for 21 years. Tell us, how did you meet? I know you had said something before the show that Greg is actually from Ohio, and Alison, you are originally from Canada. So how did all that happen?
Well, so he moved to Canada when he was 4, so it doesn't really count. But I did tell my parents when I was 5. We used to always vacation in the U.S. And I told my parents when I was 5 that I was going to marry an American. So I universally put that out there, and then I eventually found Greg. How do we meet, Greg?
Well, I guess you want the whole story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
Unpack.
we just happened to be. I was out with a bunch of buddies of mine for a stag, and on the way out to the party, it was in Toronto, which is about an hour away from where we are.
Yeah.
A bar called My Apartment.
The bar was called My Apartment.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a horrible story. Like, it's not the story you want to tell people.
Well, on the way out there, he got a phone call from his fiance at the time, saying that we didn't include the right people. So this one was going to be null and void. And we were like, okay.
They made it a pre-stag, pre-party.
Nice.
But we were at the bar together. We both happened to go up to the bar to order a beer at the same time. And there was a big sign that said best pickup joint in town. And we ordered beer and looked at each other. And I think I said I agreed with his beer choice. And the rest is history.
Never agree with a guy's beer choice. Never do that.
I never gave out my phone number at a bar ever. I don't know why I gave him my phone number. I think his buddies phoned and left a message on my voicemail at like 4 a.m. because I think they were making fun of him that he got a girl's phone number at the bar. And then literally the next day he phoned me and left a message and said, sorry, I missed you. I'm going to the gym. I'll be back at 7. I'll call you at 7. And my phone rang at exactly 7. So there were like none of the like that there are nowadays of like you have to wait for them to message back and like you don't go, the message is unopened or whatever. He was like, nope, this is how it is. I'm going to phone this girl. I'm going to tell her I'm going to call her back and I'm going to do it. And yeah.
Wow,
my mom knew he was the one because it was the longest time I went between introducing her to a boy. She was like, I think this might be the guy because you haven't brought him home yet.
Wow, Greg, you're so precise on your time. What's up with that?
I've always been prompt and on time, scheduled well. Yeah.
Well, very good. So how long did you all date?
He's very regimented.
Yeah.
We dated for a year. We were engaged for a year, and then we got married. It was very to the T.
Wow.
And what month did you get married in?
In August. I was waiting for her to answer. August. So we
So,
were married August 21st.
so why did it need to be so precise? I mean, what was your
No, no,
thought
no.
process?
It just,
That's how he works.
I don't know why it had to be so precise. It was just that's how, yeah, I guess that's how we did it. Yeah, when I met her, I knew right away she was the one. And
Oh,
after, I mean, dating for a year, it didn't make sense to me just that, you know, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So,
wow. You sound like my husband. He said, I knew you were the one. On our first date, I knew it was you.
Yeah.
well,
I didn't think
I,
so.
right, I had done a lot of dating, and I feel like, yeah, there was nothing that, like, no things that bothered me about her, and she, we had lots of discussions on our dates about things that we were very in sync on. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
We
I
talked
knew.
about finances on our second date.
yeah,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we recommend just talk about everything, right?
yeah,
Finances, communication, sex, whatever. Just talk about it all as soon as you can. I knew that the first night that Cheryl and I went out on a date that she was my wife. She wasn't convinced for a while, but our from our first date to our marriage it was 45 days.
oh,
You counted the actual dates.
I guess he did. Our first date was August the 16th, and we got married on September 28th.
This like the same year.
Same year. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
So people say that we did it too fast and we had a year.
No, my husband, I tried to,
She tried.
I tried
She
to
tried to
hold on
stretch
for
it
a
out.
year.
She tried to
I
stretch it
did.
out.
But he wasn't having it. He was like, a year? I was like, well, yeah. But he wasn't going for it.
We have friends that it's their anniversary today, but they dated for like 8 years before
Yeah.
they got married.
Oh my
wow.
goodness, 8 years.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely.
And I mean, that might be a point of, what point of your life you're in, and all that other stuff too, right?
That's exactly what
That's
it
Because
was.
we were both working full time, and we were past school. Everything was going great. So, all our dates were amazing.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah. Why ruin a good thing? Like,
Yeah, and you're absolutely right on that, Greg, because we were in our early 40s when we met,
Mm.
and
Okay.
so we'd already lived a little life, had some
Right.
Yeah, you knew.
had
Yeah, we did.
relationships and all that. So yeah, so we didn't have time to wait 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we want to hear more about your story of how you guys got together. And I think you had some hiccups in there and stuff. We want to talk about some of those when we get back. You're watching the I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back in just a moment.
How many of us wished we bought Bitcoin early? We hear it all the time after the latest huge price surge. I wish I'd gotten in sooner. I wish I'd stocked up before the price took off.
Crypto markets are in the green this morning as Bitcoin hits yet another record high today.
The truth is, the real path to crypto wealth isn't chasing big price jumps. It's getting coins early and frequently. How? Mining. Mining gives you coins. Early Bitcoin adopters built their wealth by mining, and big banks and investors keep doing it, expanding their wealth and squeezing you and me out. Also, traditional mining comes with massive upfront hardware costs and sky-high electricity bills. But there's a better way. Meet Texit Coin, a new decentralized coin mined in Texas.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl. We have a special MVP guest in studio with us, Greg and Alison Wills, and they're telling us about their dating for a year. engagement for a year. And then whatever happened. What happened after that?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we
Well, we bought a house.
we bought a house before our wedding.
When we were engaged, we bought the house.
That
Okay.
caused some controversy because Greg's family felt that if we lived in the house before we got married, what would change when we got married?
Right.
And I was afraid to live in the house by myself because I was moving to this new town and I was young. And so um, Greg met with his parents and had this conversation with them and said, well, I know that you don't agree with this decision, but what if we move into the house and we have separate bedrooms, and I'll talk to the priest beforehand to make sure he's okay with it. And they thought for sure the priest was going to be like,
Yeah.
there's no way, I won't marry you if you live in the same house. And the priest was like, you're really going to have separate bedrooms? And we were like, yeah, like we've got twin beds, like we're going to, and then we'll buy furniture, but we won't like have, and so we didn't buy a bed until afterwards. So we moved in together while we were engaged and had separate bedrooms. And I remember like vividly, we would talk through the walls and nobody believed us, but we totally did. We were, and so that was kind of the first bit. And then after our marriage, Greg's mom was really, really sick with cancer. So we spent most of our first year of marriage actually meeting on the highway and then driving to Toronto to visit her at Princess Margaret.
Wow.
And I remember my mom was so great. So my mom lived an hour away and she would come and do our laundry for us because we were both working in opposite towns. And then we would drive and meet on the highway. And some nights he would be like, well, maybe we shouldn't go tonight. And I was like, I don't want to ever have regrets. So I think we just go. And so we would meet at a gas station and then drive one car into Toronto. And we would stay till like 11 o'clock at night and we'd come home and my mom would stop in and do our laundry and help us take care of the house because we were just dedicated to visiting her. And
Yeah.
so glad we did because she didn't make it to our first wedding anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. You never want to not do that with family.
And you know what? I feel like I was gypped because a lot of people complain about their in-laws, and she was never someone I would have complained about. She brought out the best in me. She was such a wonderful woman. She would have been a great grandparent to our kids.
Right.
And I remember at her funeral, I was in the bathroom and a bunch of her friends were I was in the bathroom stall and a bunch of them were like at the sink talking about how all she wanted to be was a grandparent and that she was never going to get to do that.
Yeah.
And what they didn't know at the time is that I was pregnant and had only just found out. And 2 days after her funeral, we miscarried. And so that it was just felt like one loss after another. And it was a very emotional time. And I think it took a toll on our marriage for sure, because you, like you just think that things are going to go good, or I had some health concerns that they had said, if I didn't have a baby right away, we might never have a baby. And he was kind of like, let's just try again. And I was a little bit traumatized about what we'd gone through.
Yeah.
And we ended up having multiple miscarriages before we actually ended up being blessed with children. It was actually 7 years of trying, and all of our friends were getting pregnant. Everywhere you went, there were pregnant people. Everyone had babies. And 7 years is a long time to try. And
Yes, for sure.
we went and considered fertility treatments, and we literally went, and it was like messages from God or something, because we were supposed to have this appointment and it was in London, so like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and there was a massive snowstorm, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, is this a sign? And we're like, no, like, we'll go, it'll be fine. And then there was a transport collision on the highway, like stopping us from getting to the appointment. So
Wow.
it was just one symbol after another that this was not the path we were supposed to take. So we ended up not doing any like treatment or anything like that. And eventually, when time was right, we did get pregnant, and we do have two beautiful kids now. And I honestly think it was like the universe's way of saying that, it wasn't our time. We ended up going on multiple vacations.
Yeah, I think that was the key. We even though it was hard, we tried to make the best of everything we could do. So Um,
And I think we were better parents because of it, because we didn't care if the dishes were in the sink. We just wanted to spend really focused, energetic time with our kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas had we had kids right away, that version of us probably would have been trying too hard to be perfect. And 7 years later, we didn't care if we were perfect. We were who we were, like love us or not, right? And
Yeah.
so I think that our kids have benefited from those 7 years of hard times, because we've become better people through that journey, together and individually.
Yeah.
So tell me, how old were you guys through this process? Were you in your early 20s or something?
So we finally had kids. Well, I was 30, and so we had an age difference. So he was 30,
I was 36.
30
Yeah.
when we had our first.
Okay. So you guys were young. You were in your 20s through all of this. So this is I know this did a lot of shaping and
Yes.
pruning during this process. Share with us, if you will, some of the hard things that you had to emotionally overcome or find a way to overcome. Did you go through counseling, or did you pretty much make it through just the two of you on your own?
So I think that we made it through on our own, but I think the big thing is that we yelled, we cried, we were very open about our emotions, whether it came out great or not, right? And so, like, I give him props because
we had lots of arguments, but we didn't let that affect us. Like, it was more of just getting our frustrations out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we understood that each other was doing that, as opposed to, yeah.
He put a lot in my hormones. Like, after we had our second child, he was like, we cannot make it through another pregnancy. Like, we cannot, because I was a hormonal disaster. And like, I remember, like, I've thrown a hairbrush at him. Like, I have like he's put up with a lot, just because my hormones were all over the map. And now I'm in perimenopause and it's happening all over again. And so he deserves a medal because, I did have horrible mood swings. And I think that, but we also talked about it. Like, I would be like, can you just put it in your calendar that I am going to be moody 3 days before my cycle? And just don't ask me, is this that thing again that you get once a month? Or like, what is this? Just no, put it in. And so he's always been very accepting of my mood swings. And yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to need to take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue that conversation, maybe a little calmer level.
Yeah.
We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hello, everybody. Casper and Cheryl here. And guess what? We won our first year. And we win a Gandhi Award. We can't thank you guys enough. We appreciate you. Yes.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we have our special MVP guest in studio, Greg and Alyssa Wills. And I was just messing with you. You can be as emotional as you want to be.
Well, it's funny that you made that comment, because when we first got together, Allie's, her parents used to always say that I was the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
So she gets excited, and I just kind of try to keep calm.
Kind of balance it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Cheryl and I first got together, I was super quiet, like super quiet, reserved, quiet, didn't say much of anything.
Yeah, my girlfriends would say, "Is he okay? Does he talk?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, he talks. He's just a thinker. He's a very practical man. So he's thinking, he's listening, and he didn't have a lot of words, but." it's been 20 some years now, 22, 23 years now. And sometimes I think he talks more than me. I'm like, what happened to that quiet husband I had?
Always talking.
I can be the same way. Very
Yeah.
much so. Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg, this is what I want to know. So you guys were young, you were in your 20s. A lot of young people right now don't have near the challenges that you guys had to overcome. However, they give up so quick. And from a male perspective, share with us, if you will, what was going on through your mind? I mean, because a lot of people, they just, they have a bump in the road and the thing they want to do, they want to quit.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that you guys were free enough to release your emotions, but not to the point where you're like, well, I want to quit. I mean, quit each other. You didn't like your circumstance, of course, but so kind of share with us from that perspective.
I think I just like she'd have these moments, and I would just like I'd go back to what are the things that attracted me to her to begin with.
Okay.
Like I knew right away she was the one. And I'm like for a couple days of what you would call her mood swings or whatever, it wasn't worth throwing something away just because and I understood it wasn't something she could control in that matter either. Like if it's her hormones that were truly doing it, there wasn't anything she could do per se. She just almost needed to let it out, and I came to that conclusion that that's what needed to happen.
Yeah. I know.
And then I guess I didn't take it personally.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like I didn't take it personally. I knew she didn't really feel that way about me, but in that moment, she was angry. Yeah.
I think one of the great things in our marriage is that we've both learned to hold space for each other. And so, there are so many things that we live together, and then there's so many things that happen separately, but we hold space. So like last year, Greg had worked at the same company for 25 years and he lost his job. And that was a tremendous thing to go through, financial concerns, stress, like his feeling of being not good enough or whatever that you go through when you lose a job. But then I held that container for him, like he had for so many years for me, that I'm going to let you have the emotions and know that you might be grumpy today, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're grumpy because of me or at me. And I can hold space and not love that we're going through this, but I can allow you to feel and express your emotions and kind of have that separation exactly like he's talking about.
Yeah. I know as guys, we get frustrated because we don't know what to do, right? We want to fix stuff. We want to make it right.
Right.
And we have no idea how to make it right. We're like, I don't know what to do here.
I think that's one of the things in the language patterns that we started early in our marriage was I noticed that he wanted to fix. Like, so if I said like, oh, my best friend did this and I vented or whatever, and he would like want to tell me how to fix it. And so we started this dialogue in our relationship of like, are you asking me for advice or am I holding space?
There you go.
And that separation really helped a lot.
And I mean, it's tough for me. I have an engineering background, so
Okay.
I mean, we want to fix things all the time, right? So that's where it came in.
I know for us, one of the things I would start a conversation if I wanted to tell him something about an event or something that happened at work. I would always start with saying, I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
I don't want you to try to give me a suggestion or fix it. Say, I just need to vent and I just want you to listen. And then once he knows that, then he can, then it's good. But when I come to him and say, okay, I need to know, what do you think about this? Then that means I want you to jump in. I want you to share. I want you to participate. Give me a suggestion or idea. Yeah. So we too learned early to just start communicating what we actually wanted from the person, so that there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have even brought that communication into our parenting, in the sense that like when we were pregnant, I like read a pregnancy book and like a parenting book and like shared that with him. And then I said, like, let's talk about some of the parenting things that are going to come up and make some decisions together before those incidents happen. Like, how do we feel about, I can't even think of what, but like certain parenting strategies, or what are things that like in your own parents' behavior that you would have liked to have had different,
Right.
so that we can kind of figure that out, so that again, we're not having the conversations after the fact, potentially mad at each other or frustrated.
That's very good. That's very good. So, great. Tell me, both of you, share with me. You went through a series of miscarriages. So, after I assuming that after each one, you guys had to pull yourselves back together and pick yourselves back up. Did you? You didn't say you used counseling. So, did you have self-help books? Did you pray a lot? What was your strategy to kind of get through it each time?
Kind of get grounded again or something.
I feel like after one, I told him I hated him. Like, I hated him because he wanted to just get over, like he just got over it faster than me.
Right.
Because I feel like as women, we're more attached to a fetus. Whereas
Right.
like to him, it's not like, it didn't attach itself to him the same way yet. And they were early pregnancy losses. Like they were in the first trimester, but weren't always great experiences. But I was mad at him because he wasn't as deeply invested, and he was like, it's okay, we'll just try again, like it's nothing. Whereas to me it had such a bigger impact.
Yeah.
But I also felt like we tried to do something together, more so than like separate.
Yeah.
Like when someone has a miscarriage, I feel like both people separate and go with their own emotions.
Mhm.
Whereas we would try to do something together. I mean, a couple times we went on vacation.
Yeah.
Like there was
Like we went on an all-inclusive vacation
like,
together,
yeah, I
like
don't.
after like a couple months later or
It
whatever.
seems weird, but I feel like it you know,
It helps,
you're
right?
together with that person, and then you're
Yeah. And then we also did things like I made him come up with a pact that like by the time we hit this age, we were going to have a conversation about adoption. Like we kind of set like a time frame that like we want kids, these horrible experiences that are happening don't change the fact that we want to be parents. So like he was kind of like, well, we'll just try, it's fine, we're young, blah blah blah. And I was like, but I need a time frame. Like I need to know that there's like a date where like we have to change course. We have to look at other options.
We're going to pick up on that after the break. You are watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl and our special MVP guest. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have a special MVP guest in studio with us, and we need to let's kind of finish this up, but then we want to transition into your website, because we want to talk about that before we get too close to the end of the show.
Well, here's my question. As we transition, how did what it is that you went through get you to where you are now?
Yeah, it's very interesting because we I guess as we kind of figured out more about why we couldn't get pregnant, we discovered I had celiac disease, so I was not getting nutrients to the baby. I really delved into health and nutrition. And so I started to
we're very big on researching.
Yeah,
so we both research the heck out of everything, which is
And so I dove into health and nutrition. And then it was actually when my son was 3, I realized I was in a corporate job. I was working. Life was not looking like it was supposed to. And there was a moment when I was putting something in the freezer and the freezer drawer wouldn't close. And this was the life-changing moment for me. The freezer drawer wouldn't close and I dropped a swear word as I looked up and made eye contact with my 3-year-old. And I was like, we spent 7 years trying to have kids. This is not what life was supposed to look like.
Right.
And I went upstairs that night, closed my bedroom door, had a massive cry, went to work the next day and went on stress leave. I went to my doctor. They put me on a 3-month stress leave. And then at the end of the 3-month stress leave, he said, we're never going to survive if you go back. We're not going to make it.
Wow.
And it was that moment that I was like,
Well, and the company was running you dry.
the company was running me dry. There was a class action lawsuit. There was so many things going on. And it was in that moment that everything in my life changed. And I started reading self-help books. I joined a network marketing company that I didn't stay with, but it kind of got me into that self-help journey.
Sure.
I went back to school I ended up working for a naturopath doing some admin work. And she wanted me to start coaching some of her gluten-free clients because I had celiac disease. I had been gluten-free for years.
Right.
And then that was when I made the decision to go back to school. And I got my health coach designation. So I'm a certified health coach. I got my life coach designation. And then I later on got trained in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming and timeline therapy. So I have my level 1 hypnosis. And now what I do is I help other women stop saying should, stop over medicating with being busy and sugar and all the things so that they can show up in their lives as the best version of themselves.
Awesome.
Yes, and we have your website. I'm going to pull up because it's a nice website here that people can go to. It's called Wellness with
Wisdom.
Wellnesswithwisdom.com. Yeah, so tell us more about your offerings.
Yeah, so basically, I do one-on-one coaching with females. Basically, where they're at, they can purchase. Mostly females. I do coach some males as well. Because usually people, like, once they coach with me, then they want to, have other people work with me too. So I've coached a lot of mothers who then refer their university daughters to me. And I really help people show up where they're at. So if they're looking for nutrition advice, I will help them with that. But a lot of the work I do now is mindset stuff. And so really getting to the root cause of your limiting beliefs, your negative self-talk. For years and years, I had that voice in my head that was always mad at me and like angry with me. And I think that's why I went through all those hormone things where I threw a hairbrush at Greg or, and it really, I help my clients to do similar stuff that we do in our marriage where, we're able to hold space for each other. We realize that, when he's angry, it's not necessarily about me, it's about him. And then we can show up differently. So in our lives, if we can, to learn, how to be the best versions of ourselves, that then in turns allows us to be the best, mothers we can be, the best spouses we can be, the best sister, best friend, any of those things. And so, yeah, I love what I do. It's great. I still work with the naturopathic doctor and I coach some of her programs for her. And then, yeah, it's amazing because so many people maybe don't want to do counseling. And coaching is such a different realm of, we don't have to go into the why or like some of the baggage stuff that's happened in the past. We can be like, well, who do we want to be and how do we get there? How do we want to show up in our day-to-day lives? And for me, at one point, when I was doing my NLP training, is I wanted to show up in a more loving way. I wanted to love myself more and I wanted to love on my kids more. And I just wanted really to have a heart-centered life. And the coaching that was done through my training, because you coach partners while you're learning, has been such a game changer to who I am. I used to wear busy as a badge of honor, and now I'm consciously being present in my life, showing up in the everyday little things. And as such, I show and appreciate gratitude differently. I move slower. I'm less in a rush. Multitasking is something I prefer not to do, whereas it's something I would have put at the top of my resume back in the day.
No, that's right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for that awesome website as well. So we're going to head to a break here. When we come back, if there was just a couple of quick tips that you would give folks that are stressed out or in a situation where they think they need they need to do something different, right? They're to a point to where it's just
they don't want to do the same old anymore.
Yeah, they're at their wits' end.
Mm-hmm.
On something. If you have some tips you can share with us when we come back. We need to take a quick break. Again, this is the last break, so let me see what we are going to do this one. All right, we'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome to IAM Love Builders MVP Premiere. Your marriage or relationship deserves the best. You deserve MVP Premiere. Introducing our exclusive 5-day one-on-one intensive immersion training. A life-changing experience for only 8 couples per year. From door-to-door charter travel to your choice of 4 exclusive locations. Gourmet dining, romantic outings, and VIP local transportation. We've thought of everything. And the best part is, you gain lifetime access support via phone, text, or video chat. Your relationship reimagined. Reinvented, renewed MVP Premiere, because you both deserve nothing less. Apply today. Spots are filling fast. All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builders show. Casper and Cheryl. We have a special MVP guest in studio with us, Greg and Alison Wills. And so, Alison, you were talking about how you launched into this
your coaching
business, basically, right? The wellness and all that stuff. In this last segment, can you kind of unpack some things or give us our audience some tips on how they can start to move in a better way, right? With their busy schedules and families and dogs and kids and husbands and all that stuff.
And your puppies are really cute, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. They're my favorite babies of all of them. Even the kids tease that they think I love the dogs more than them. And I'm like, I do, it's fine. So I think the big thing is that even when you listen to our story, right? Like when we were having problems getting pregnant and stuff, we dove into research, we dove into, trying to figure it out on our own. And I think my message to people is that you don't have to. You don't have to do everything on your own. Like, I'm sure you guys see it in people's marriages too. Like, you don't have to be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
It's like help is available. And so I think more people need to reach out to a coach or to counseling and look at those options for support, because like things got really ugly before they got better. And I'm really passionate that like, I don't want a woman to feel like they have to leave their job as the solution to their marriage staying together.
Right.
And there was a point where that's where I felt like I was. And maybe I needed to change jobs. Maybe I didn't. I mean, I think my path took me where I was supposed to go. But there wasn't that person that I felt like I could call. Like when I went on stress leave, I went to counseling. And to be honest, counseling made me hate my mother. I blamed my mother for everything. And it impeded on my mom's and my relationship. Whereas when I went and learned NLP and I learned timeline therapy and I learned how to be a coach, that gave me the opportunity to say, okay, it's not anything my mom did. It might have been my perception, right? My mom didn't unlovingly do something to me that made me the person I am. She did the best she could with the tools she had. But my interpretation of those things is where things got messy. So I thought I needed to be a perfectionist. I thought I needed to do 500 things at 150%. So I drove myself into the ground. And so that's not my mom's fault. That's my interpretation of them telling me I can do anything. I grew up in a family that you can do anything you set your mind to. Well, I took that too far. That wasn't their fault. That was great parenting, right? And so that's where I would tell people that, like, what is your perception of what's actually going on? Is it a story you're telling yourself and you're making that story true? Or could the story have a different version? Mm-hmm. And when we switch that script and we do the reframing, it changes our perspective and we can see things in a different way. We learn in life that, like, everyone is like against us or for us or whatever that philosophy is, but everyone's really in it for themselves, right? We're pretty selfish people. And so when we can start to see that everything's not actually about me, when somebody says something to you, or a boss does something to you, or a spouse or whoever, there's a little bit of about them in it, and a little bit about their upbringing and the words that trigger them, not just you. So their interpretation isn't always the same thing as ours.
Well, like when your spouse gets angry, it's not always
Yeah.
about the other person.
Yeah, sometimes he gets angry because he had a bad day at work, and I have to know that I didn't do anything. But my reaction would have been like, what did I do? I must have upset him. And we make it about ourselves when it's not really.
Absolutely. That is so totally awesome. And you're right, we do tell our couples, you can change. It's not regardless of how you grew up or what happened. You are where you are because of decisions you made. But you can make a whole new set of decisions right now. Today, you can change your direction and start walking a new way. And so people sometimes feel like they don't have hope or like they can't change. But no, if you want to change, you can change.
Yeah.
It may not happen overnight, but you can start the wheel going. You can take that first step.
Exactly. And what I find really entertaining about our conversation today is that I'm always talking about the reframe and the change of story and like your perception of your story. So at the beginning of the episode, before we went into the first green room, and you said, we've been through so much in our marriage and we're going to talk about it when we come return. We're in the green room and Greg looks at me and goes, what are they talking about? What have we been through? We haven't been through anything. And I'm like, well, we actually did have like quite.
We did actually, yes. Now I think about it.
What are we going to tell them? And I'm like, well, we had all these miscarriages. He's like, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah. Greg, not every couple goes through that, and some of them
That's right.
do,
No,
and some of them that do, they don't handle it well.
No.
I've known of couples who had just one miscarriage, and it ended in divorce.
Yeah.
And I like was something that you said is that everyone seems to go into their own individual corners. And when you go into your own individual corners, then you are left to your own devices, so to speak. You mean all those voices in your head start talking, and you start listening, and you start doing self-talk. And I like what you guys said, that, even though you gave each other space individually, but you came together.
Yeah. We know couples that have lost a child, and that drove them apart. Instead of it pulling them together, it drove them apart because one handled the loss one way and the other wanted them to handle it the way they were handling it. And because they didn't.
They need to hold that space. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's so interesting because looking back at our story, like I literally think our journey has been a blessing. And of course, you can't see it when you're in it. But when we look back, like I wouldn't be the coach I am today. Like I've coached women who are struggling with infertility. I've coached women who have gone through divorce. I've coached so many different women, and I'm able to show up as the version of me because of all of our ups and downs, because of the things that have happened. And so I'm a better mom for it. I'm a better wife for it. And it was hard and it was awful and it had its things, but I love the fact that he doesn't even remember. Like he's like, we did we? So
Greg,
that's just the proof of it.
I guess I put it in the past and we moved on. Yeah.
But then, Greg, I think that's it's helpful in that when you meet younger men who, because think about it, you guys were in your 20s. Not a lot of people handle a lot of hard stuff in their 20s, And so when you meet another young couple, that's intentionally or unintentionally, you'll be able to minister or mentor that young man who's going through something that he didn't count on. And he has a wife who got all these hormones because, we're women. And, there's something that you can speak to. Because sometimes we just need a word from someone who not only understands or can see our perspective, but they've been there. Just that one voice of somebody who says, I understand what you're going through, but here's my story. And then they'll listen and say, wow, okay, so if you went through that in your 20s, we should be able to pull through this. And then it may spark them to say, we need to ask for help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Absolutely.
sure. I love that. And it's
Yeah.
so true. I mean, you live with someone, like I don't know if anyone like goes to college and have roommates, but like your roommate leaves crumbs on the counter and you're mad, right? Like when you get married, you're choosing to live with someone and you're,
For the rest-
got to figure that all out.
Right.
And that there's beauty in that. And you got to figure out their quirks and love them anyway.
Yep. Yep.
Well, thank you guys. Your story has been a blessing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're very welcome. Hey folks, you have been watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. And I'm trying to get this thing. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. Do that. Then do this.
He's multitasking.
Yeah, it's not working. You've been watching I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We want you to become MVPs, most valuable partners in your relationship. Because you're working on yourself and your spouse is working on their self. You guys come together. You have something really powerful. And that's what we're seeing with couples like
Alison and Greg.
Alison, yeah. So, hey guys, thank you for coming on the show. We will see everyone on the next show. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.